I want you to understand what is happening now, specifically involving the indictment, yet again, of President Trump and his allies. Lahaina, what this means, what is happening, what you're missing, and what is not being covered. This is going to be one of the most important uh, issues or videos or chats or whatever you want to call it that we have ever had. I want you to understand this. This is important. There's a lot of moving pieces here. But first, let me, as always, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you always for following us. Thank you for being cordial and nice and courteous and interested and focused. And it is so wonderful to see this on your part. Let me remind you very simply that we want you to follow us on YouTube. It's critical. You must like this. Your likes put us into new categories, new watch categories. The more likes that we have, the more subscriptions that we have, the more it puts us into the recommended lane where more people come in, because we want folks to listen to what we're saying because it's a different take. And also follow us on X. I still can't say X. I say to me it's Twitter. I can't explain that one, but I'm going to do this. Also, today this is sponsored as by our dear friends at Noble Gold. No, Noble Gold in addition, but also My Pillow. I'm getting them confused. And by the way, let me just say something. Noble Gold, great folks. Call them right now at 877-646-5347 or go to noblegoldinvestments.com. Tell them Lionel sent you. Go ahead and do it. They're wonderful people. These are the I don't know about you, but when I heard gold, there's a lot of gold folks out there. These are the nicest and the best folks. Tell them Lionel sent you. But I wanted to tell you was that on My Pillow, use promo code Lionel and receive, get this, a free gift. That's true, a gift which is free. But look at the quality of the products. And right now they are there and they have been so great to us. And they are such a great and wonderful American corporation. I want you to go there, use promo code Lionel, and get your free gift. Now, as you know, I'm a racketeering expert and will explain to you all that is going on. So sit back and let's get back to, because I've got a lot to discuss. Because remember, this is the beginning of pushing Lahaina off the map. Who do you think is going to be buying this up right now as we speak? Right now as we speak, the Oprahs and Bezoses and folks you don't know. They're not gonna go there and list property under their name. The vultures are there snatching this up like you can't believe, which gives rise to the, dare I say, the conspiracy theories of those who think that the whole purpose behind this was to basically turn this over to other folks. Now, this is just a theory, it's a suspicion, and there's no way for us to actually prove this, but it is interesting. And watch Oprah. Watch Oprah. Watch what's happening. There's behind the scenes stuff. Remember what I'm telling you. And this is incredible. You get to see stuff that's on, how do I say this? We all have these, these folks you're always sending me. I've got a dear friend of mine. He's a wonderful friend. And he'll send me these videos. He'll say, start watching at 47:30. I say, no, I'm sorry. I'm kind of busy. No, start watching at 32:12. What is it? I don't know, but just watch it at I'm always getting these. Why? Just watch this. She talks about directed energy laser beams. Who is she? Just watch. I don't want to watch this. You got to tell me who people are. What are we talking about here? Right. So anyway, so for every one of those, there's other stuff that I'm privy to, which you may not know about, and it's a lot of other stuff. And I reference to it on my private channel, but they're called blinds, blind gossips, behind the scenes. And some of them are just really good. The number of people snatching up all of the Gavin Newsom site. Gavin Newsom is going to run. Remember, I and others have been talking about Gavin Newsom forever. So when I bring it up to you, I'm telling you this is what's going on. And this has been going on the whole time. This is bigger and better than ever. There's other stuff that's fantastic. Things about Bilderberg and how there's weird combinations of folks. Remember Stacey Abrams? I don't think Stacey Abrams has ever officially conceded defeat. Anyway, she made a tremendous move at the last Bilderberg meeting. Remember the Bilderbergs? Remember that? What? That's right. For years, people said Bilderbergs were never talked about. They said there was no such thing as a Bilderberg. That is a conspiracy theory. They got a website. I've been doing this forever. I've been telling people forever about geoengineering. Now it's coming out. Now it's coming forward. I was talking to people before I knew what it was, before I knew about the name of, artificial intelligence. I kind of knew, but I was talking about how CSAM, child sexual abuse material, is going to be repackaged under digital, what have you. What I was describing was artificial intelligence. I didn't realize it, but there is a group of folks who have been talking about this since the beginning of time, and it's not there. So I'm telling you what is happening. All right, I'm telling you what I'm hearing elsewhere, but also I'm telling you how sometimes these people are full of it. So I'm going to be throwing a lot of stuff at you today. Get ready, just get ready. And sit tight. First, last night I was watching, trying to get an idea of what's going on. Newsmax, I don't even watch that. In fact, I don't even know where to find it. I know it's on cable, but I don't really watch that. OAN, I don't know. We used to watch that. But Fox and Fox Business, sometimes you can kind of see some interesting things. But anyway, but it was Hannity, I guess, when this thing came out. And of course, yes, it is. I think I was reading about some kids, some, not all, but some kids on the spectrum are very sensitive to frequencies, sometimes sounds, noises. I think I'm a little bit that, because I can't listen. I can't go into crowds with, I hear people's conversations because I hear everybody talking at the same time. I have no filtering. I can't push that out of the way. I hear everything. And last night it was the most inane drivel I've ever heard. Fox News is dead. Nobody is saying anything. I wish somebody would say, well, Sean, we don't know anything. Sean, you're asking me. Thank you for having me on, Sean. I appreciate this. And thank you for the paid gig I'm doing with Fox. But I don't know what's going on. And if I said to you, what do you think this is? I don't know. Let's go to you. Professor Alan Dershowitz. What do you think this is? I don't know. Jonathan Turley. I don't know what. Why? Because we don't know what it is. With the indictment, we don't know anything yet. And let me explain to you what's going on. It is the most piss poor, watered down version of anything's ever seen in, quote, defense of Donald Trump. They've gotten the memo there. Look, we're going to be as anti-Trump without losing the core, but we're not there. So what they do is they bring the usual suspects on. And I realize it's oh my God. Get to the point. I want to see the indictment. Mark Levin says nothing worthwhile. Let's start screaming. He doesn't yell. I like to yell. He's a screamer. Oh, that was the great one, Mark Levin. No, he's not the great one. Excuse me. What is this? I haven't learned anything. Now, let me explain something to you. And let me see if I can help you with this. Because this is what you want to know. This is not what they want to know. And whoever it was who said, let's put Tommy Lahren on. Hey, I wonder what Tommy Lahren thinks. Is Tommy Lahren available for a hit? Can we get her on? Can we have her number? Yeah. The Trump indictment broke. Can we get Tommy Lahren on? Is she available? Whoever looked at her and said, this is the Wunderkind. This is the brain trust. Seriously. I like Greg Jarrett. He's a nice guy. I remember him years ago from Court TV of all places. He doesn't say anything. Now let me explain something to you. And stop me if you've heard this. Stop me. Stop me. You ready for this? Okay. If you've heard this one. The question is simply this. What are they doing to Trump that is illegal? Answer that question for me. Not what's unfair, not what's wrong, not what's cheap. Tell me, what are they doing that's illegal, that you can get dismissed? Who was it? Somebody who said, Mark Levin said, we're going to take this to the Supreme Court. Take what to the Supreme Court? What are you talking about? It's like when your somebody gets cancer and you say, how can this happen? It happened. Yeah, but there's no way. It did happen. No, there's no way. What is illegal? Tell me what they're doing to Trump where you could say, let me bring this up. And the judge says, you can't do this. What is it? Tell me. Come on. Election interference? Well, that's what they're claiming he's doing, but too much proof? All of it? Nope. Defamation of character? Good one, Liz. I like that. Charging him with the RICO? Nope. First question, what is illegal? If it's not illegal, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You want to talk about affair? That's BS. Gotta watch my language here. Answer, nothing. Nothing is illegal. There's nothing to appeal. I might get some counts dismissed. If you are pulled over for going 31 miles per hour and the speed limit is 30, and you go before the court and a judge says, 31? Is that illegal? No. What are they doing to Trump that is illegal? Nothing. Nothing. Illegal? Nothing. Improper? Excessive? What does that mean? What if somebody said, I'm a traffic judge again, officer, whatever. Mr. Hollister is here. Have I seen you before? Yes. What is this? I've been charged 100 times in the city of Westbrook. 100 times for going 31 miles an hour in a 30. And the police officer says, I've got the radar gun here. It's calibrated. There you go. 100 times. Yep. Is that illegal? No. Is it harassment? Probably. Yeah. Is it illegal? No. Is this excessive? You tell me what excessive is. Yeah. Is this cop kind of crazy? Yeah. Do they maybe have the word starts with hard, but a particular focused preoccupation with him? Yeah. Are they obsessed? Yeah. Is this illegal? No. So let me just start off the bat with this one. You tell me what is illegal, where somebody says you can't charge Trump with that, because that's the way they're making it sound. If you listen to the Levins and this one, they make it sound like there's absolutely nothing. You can't charge them with this. They're just making this stuff up. This is nuts. This is crazy. Is it? Is it really? You say there's nothing there? There's nothing there. Really? So right off the bat, be very careful of somebody who tells you that the Supreme Court's gonna come in and do what? What is the Supreme Court gonna do? What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna come in and dismiss this? No. So I want you to understand this, because if you don't have a full and complete idea of what's happening, you're not going to be of any use to anyone. Do you understand that? You are not going to be of any use to anyone, because that's what they do. They give you this pie in the sky nonsense. Okay. Next, and this is important. Why do you think they charge racketeering? Why is this? Why is this? Why did they charge racketeering? Is that excessive? Why? And while we're at it, why are you charging him now? The election is a little over a year from now. Well, we know. What was this, 2.5 years? How long did you wait for this? Why are you bringing these charges now? Is there anyone else? I think this runs it. This is the fourth indictment. Okay, so let's get the first one. What is racketeering? Racketeering is a fantastic charge. And people say, why are they getting a statute that's usually held for the mafia? Okay, that's nice. And they keep saying this, but isn't that normally held for the mafia? Didn't, yeah. Someone writes up, Comey didn't want to charge candidates. That's Comey. That's discretion. Here is the idea in the old days. Yes, there was this. It was Blakey was the head of the whole bit. Blakey was Rico. Blakey was out of Robert Blakey was out of Notre Dame, and he wrote the RICO, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. And here's the way it worked. Let's assume that in the old days, you worked for some folks and you were in the Mafia. And before we begin, our dear friend Donna Lemo says, so will the people still be able to elect him, or will they pull his name from the ballot? Is that the only way he can rise from the ashes? Donna, thank you for your support and your love. Not only can he be elected, he can be president in prison. There's nothing in Article 2 that prevents you from being the president, even if you're in prison, which he's not going to be. But the point is, to remove him from the ballot? No, unless, and here is the thing. It's a very interesting question. Is there some form of Georgia statute which would preclude someone from being on the ballot who has either a pending felony case or is a convicted felon? It's funny. You can't vote. You can't vote if you're a convicted felon, but you can be the president. Article 2 says. Now, so that's a very interesting question. Could there be some under the Georgia laws or any other law that says, no, I'm sorry, this is a regular primary. We do not allow convicted felons to run. But this is a national election, a national law. So I would say, no, he stays on the ballot no matter what. I want you to look at the face, look at the eyes, look at the attitude, look at the hubris, look at the... Remember Vanessa Williams, you saved the best for last? Look at me. She read it rather tentative, but guess what? She's Rudy Giuliani. She's Thomas Dewey. She's just as hardcore as they were. And she says, I'm going to show you a thing or two. You think Jack Smith stuff? You ain't seen nothing. But let's go back to racketeering. It works like this. I'm the mob. I'm Fat Tony Salerno. I'm Tony Ducks Corello. I'm whoever I am. And I'm the head. I'm the head. I'm the boss of the family, of the Borgata, of the crime family, of the Columbos or whoever it is. But nobody ever talks to me. There are people on the street. They're shooting people. I've never met them. I wasn't there where they were made or straightened out. I don't know about any kind of, organization or mafia or Cosa Nostra or anything. I don't know anything about that. I'm over here. I'm a plumbing contractor. I'm John Gotti. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So anyway, so this was the old days. It was like layered disconnect and that sort of thing. Okay, so guess what happens then? Blakey comes along and they say, if you can prove that there is a racketeering enterprise, meaning that this is a group of people. This is a group of people. This is a group of people who are a part of a confederation, a criminal and ongoing criminal organization. And if you can prove, if you can show that you did acts, you performed crimes in furtherance of this, you're kind of like, you're a member. It's like you got your Costco card. Here you go. You're a member. Ta-da! How do you like them apples? You're a member. You are a member of this racketeering enterprise. How do you like that? Isn't that great? You're a member of this. And now you all can be hit with racketeering and each of you get pounded. Even though you're thinking, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. That's why, little side note, that's why in the old days when people would come forward and say, yeah, there's a mafia, so to speak, but I'm not gonna, I'm just say, no, don't admit that. Because other people are saying, what are you talking about? There is no, what if I were to charge you with being a part of the Fugazi crime family? You say, the what? You have to prove the existence of the Fugazi crime family. And if you say, I'm just a burglar, I'm not a part, there is no Fugazi. And then somebody, the head of it comes along and says, yep, there's the Fugazi crime family. So anyway, but what they're doing is they're saying that Donald Trump and his allies, and the one who just skirted through this, who used to annoy me like nobody, was this Jenna Ellis. Remember Jenna Ellis? You don't remember this. Before they realized they wanted to get out of this, when everybody was up, they would push people out of the way. And it was Sidney Powell with the release the Kraken, and it was Rudy with his poor die. Rudy is just gone. Rudy is not going to make it. Rudy, I'm seeing Rudy, just the collapse of Rudy. People say he's drinking too much. He was a great mayor, but I see him just, he's selling his apartment. They're just crushing him. But this Jenna Ellis will push her way out of the way. She'll be right in front of everybody. There she is. And Sidney Powell being like, okay, there she is. I'm Jenna Ellis, and here I am. Then when she realized, I don't know if I like this anymore, then she backed off, took off. I think she went to work maybe for Ron DeSantis. And so I don't know. I have no idea of her particular level of culpability. Probably nothing in excessive. But some of these people drove me crazy. And that's the thing that Trump sees. See, Trump is terrible. Trump doesn't look around and say, you're not going to be good. You're not good. You're not a good spokesman. Nope, you're not good. Sidney Powell was a joke. Wearing the leopard. What are you, Edith Prickly? What is this? Remember that show? We're going to release the Kraken. Turn that off. This is a joke. This is a clown. Why are you announcing what you're doing? Why are you telling people what you're doing? I never understood any of that. That's not illegal. But it was this, come on. It's the way Gotti used to say, come on. I got the Brioni soups, I got this, I got that. Come on, bring it on. You can't touch me. I'm bigger than you. I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. That's what a lot of this was. And this new, what is her name? Alina, who is she? Alina Haba? Get rid of that one. I'm telling you right now, no, 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 no. I don't know why you need spokespeople. Why do you? She's adding nothing to this. She comes across to people as a lightweight. I'm sorry. You want to have, and I don't know if there's anybody even available. You want to have somebody who looks like a professor or a doctor. You want Marcus Welby. You want a white-haired, Turley's okay, but he's too busy with the Fox thing. By the way, memo. Please, couple of things. Number one, petty. Number one, first, lose that. Okay, that's a thing. Jonathan Turley has a scene where he's smiling. He either looks like he's crying or he's smiling. And he has this scene where he's smiling. And he's just so smiling, happy to be here. Stop that. You're here on the grimmest day, the worst day of MAGA, whatever it is. You are at a funeral. For the love of God, stop grinning with that, you know what, eating grin. Stop that. I don't know why they do this. Number two, don't say, thank you for having me. Stop it. Thank you for having me on. You invited me. You should be thanking me. I don't know why people say that. Thank you, Steve, and thanks for having me on. What are you doing me a favor? I'm helping you in this stupid show of yours. There used to be a thing years ago on CNN called, this is terrible, pardon the expression, bitches in boxes. They had 1 million people on CNN in boxes. I one time was on CNN and I had the newspaper. I actually sat, it was right there on, I think it was on 8th Avenue. The old CNN across from Penn Station. And I was wasting my time. And I took the newspaper and I opened it up. And I'm in one of the boxes. I guess one of the bitches in the boxes. And I remember they thought it was the funniest thing. People, well, this is before internet and all this. So they're getting all these people. Another thing too, by the way, second little thing, if you're having your camera, please don't have a camera shooting up. And if you do, cut your nose hairs. I'm sorry, little things like that. Just do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Just don't have this camera coming up. What is this? It looks like I'm on the ground and you're leaning over me. Little things like that. Get a mic. Even a pair of maybe, I don't know, just whatever. You would think by now somebody would say, don't. So they're getting these people on. They come across like clowns. I feel so sorry for the president. You're being represented by clowns. Sidney Powell was a clown. Rudy, God bless him, was a clown. This Jenna Ellis, go away. I'm here. And until she felt the heat, she's gone. So let me just explain this. This is about how it looks. How it looks. The president's going to say his thing, but if you're going to have people, what are you talking about? What are you going to add to this? What? And are these people on his legal team? Let me also say something, and I'm going to say something to the president, and you may not like this, but I'm telling you, it's optics. Optics, 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 optics. The way things work. You understand this? You understand what I'm saying? Listen to me and listen good. This is critical. Now, let me just say this to you. I don't know how to, let me go back to where I was. Somebody's got to sit with Trump and somebody's got to be able to tell him, you got to understand something. Oh, who wrote? Kellyanne Conway for vice president? Are you crazy? What? With George Conway, the husband or husband, and that loony daughter? Do you? I love you. Do you not pay attention to what's going on? Do you understand that optics and all of this stuff really matters? Do you understand this? Optics, think Reagan. What would Reagan do? What would Reagan do? This is the thing I can't explain to you enough. I can't. Trump doesn't know anything about optics. Trump has this thing where he hangs around young women. And I think I'm going to say this, please. I think he loves to have his ego stroked. And I think he loves to have young women to say, look at this. Who sit there and go, yes, Mr. President, you're one. Remember, every now and then he's driving around in this playing golf, which is another. I don't know what the golf thing is. I don't understand it. But nobody's asking me, but I'm going to tell you. What are you doing? Enough with this golf business. You look like indifferent. It's just nobody cares. It's like, what are you doing? Your world's falling apart. What are you, Ike? It doesn't matter. And then you're always driving around with these young girls and this one. And let me also say something. And I'm telling you right now, believe me when I tell you this. Trump has got to always thought image optics. When you have young women as your spokesperson walking around and they're not appropriately dressed, you're hurting yourself. Now, you can either take my word for it or not. Everything matters. Everything. Have somebody look at your image and go, nope, not now. You're running for president, theoretically, right? If you're not running, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You just came off of this dusty saddles with this trollop, this road hardened, put up wet skank that you paid I don't know how much money to. Then you got the E. Jean Carroll, and you got other stuff with women. Don't do this. Don't say, there he goes again. Now, I don't know if you can't hire somebody, maybe a professor, somebody with white hair, somebody who is not necessarily media savvy. You also have to ask yourself, what is it that you're trying to do? Let me stop right there. You know what's happening in the meantime. So long to Lahaina. So long. Wave goodbye. Wave goodbye. Wave goodbye. That's it. You're never going to hear anything about this again. Oh, you might have a beep roll here and there. No. Nope. It's done. Watch the vultures. Watch the looting. Watch the story. Watch all of this stuff that we were getting to the bottom of. It goes away now. It goes away. Say goodbye. Americans can't handle Lahaina and this. Say goodbye to Hunter Biden. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to Biden. Goodbye. It's done. It's finished. They want you to forget all about Lahaina. That property is already sold. They've got speculators coming in. They're going to pick this thing apart. They're going to pick it apart and wait until you see who the owners are in 6 months or a year from now. Wait till you see. You'll know the names. And then you'll say, aha, that's why they did it. Again, no evidence that anybody did it. No evidence that this was somehow controlled, some kind of a controlled demolition. No evidence of, directed energy weapons or whatever you think. But it fuels your suspicion, and nobody's going to talk about this. Nobody gives a damn about it. Nobody. And what's happening right now is, believe it or not, looting. They're looting. You dare loot? Looting? I have never believed in shoot to kill, or those are rather excessive. But anybody who goes in and picks through somebody's house, I don't know who these people are, where you would. But this is what the reports are. But you're not going to see anything about that. Wait till you see what, 6 months, a year from now? How many who's going to low income housing stuff, and who's going to buy those? Who owns what? Who comes in and buy? What corporations are going to be buying huge swaths of real estate? Who owns this? You're never going to know because it's done. It's done. Because you're going to talk about, and then you're going to have all these people come forward to talk about Trump and say this ridiculous stuff. Well, what does not destroy him makes him stronger. What are you talking about? What do you mean stronger? He's under his 4th indictment. Well, this is ridiculous. It might be ridiculous, but the question is it illegal? No. Is there a chance he can be convicted? Yes. And here's the other question. Who's going to flip on Trump? Who? Who? Do you hear these names of the 18 people? Some of these names I never heard of. Mark Meadows? I don't think. There's going to be some name that says, listen, can I talk to you? Look, I know all about this. Trump told me that I heard him say that he was doing this, and he said, come hell or high water, I don't even care if we have to, and I'm being facetious, but somebody's going to come forward and say, I don't care what anybody says, we're going to win this election, and that's that, and I don't care if it's illegal or not, because this is mine, and I know I'm wrong, but I'm going to. And when are you going to appeal? What are you going to appeal? You're going to go to the Supreme Court? This is fact-based. This isn't like Jack Smith kind of makes up new law, kind of makes up stuff. That at least you can work with. You can say, well, this wasn't exactly the basis for this. But racketeering is very, very cut and dry. If you can show that there was a group of people who conspired in a criminal enterprise, unless you can find something factually wrong with the structure of it, but people who work together in this enterprise to subvert, to reverse, to destroy, to collude, whatever, with the election, if you can show that, guess what? You're in. You're in. And Mark Levin can scream all he wants. And you can bring in anybody you want. Because let me tell you about people. You got to understand something. Every single person who is a legal commentator on every TV show wants to do it for one reason and one reason only. This. Not money. This. It's an old joke. And in order to be on it, you've got to say things that are great. You've got to be the position where you say, you know what? This guy's great. We got to get him again. And they get done. They call their agent. How do they do? They loved you. They want to re-up for whatever? Yes. They want to re-up? They sure do. They want to re-up for X amount. That's terrific. Keep it up. They love the way you scream. They love the way you scream. They love it. They think it's terrific. They love the way you scream. They love the way you do all this stuff. Really? Yeah. They think it's terrific. And also, if you think that any of those people at Fox News give a damn about Donald Trump, you're out of your mind. Out of your mind. Where's Bobby Kennedy Jr.? Bobby Kennedy Jr. has to own this. Bobby Kennedy Jr. has to own this. Bobby Kennedy Jr. has to own this. Where is he? This is what makes me think, you know what? I don't think he's got it. I don't think he's interested. I would own this. I would have statements every single. Ramaswamy's doing it. So what do you say? What is it that you say? Do you say that it's illegal? No. And by the way, watch the 65 project that comes along and will basically knock out any lawyer who dares to defend any of these people. It's not that they're only against lawyers who want to subvert or reverse the 2020 election. I will bet you anything these people actually, believe it or not, come along, and I will bet you that they will go after how do I say this? They will go after lawyers who defend these people. Now, on a side note, what we are seeing is beyond third world horrible. This is lawfare. This is so low rent, so despicable, so unconscionable. And the American legal profession, the lawyers, the law professors, the ABA, the this, the that, they don't say a word. The big law firms, the white shoe firms, they don't say a word. They're just looking the other way. They are in the same category as these doctors who for the years sat back and never said a thing. These doctors, they could do, thank God those doctors weren't around when thalidomide was being given to mothers and where kids were born with flippers. And thank God those doctors said, whoa, whoa, hey. Nobody's saying anything. See, because the word is out. Trump's a different category. They're just sharpening their fangs. They're using him as a tackling dummy. They're using him as a beta test. They want to practice. They want to see, how can we do this? How can we turn on a legal person, so to speak? How can we turn on an American citizen and basically deprive this person of every right under the sun? How can we do this? We've never done this. Let's see how we can do it. Let's practice this. Let's all come out and do a beta test. Years ago, somebody said, if we ever wanted to issue a lockdown, on the world, how can we do it? They know how to do it now. If somebody said, if we wanted to mobilize the dispensing of a vaccine, of a medication, of a practice or something overnight, how fast can we do this? They just figured it out. They know how to do it. So this is a chance. If we want to just systematically, collectively destroy someone, just destroy Donald Trump as an example. And we want to know how we can do it. What evidence do we need to utilize? They know how to do it. It's the most incredible thing in the world. You probably don't. Well, maybe you do. One of the things which I find fascinating, and I've always found fascinating, is the group think, group mentality. Okay, I've always been fascinated by that, and I've always been fascinated over the notion of anti-Semitism. Now, anti-Semitism is a word that is used sometimes much too often and much too incorrectly. There are some people who are saying things they're not anti-Semitic. They just don't like either what Israel's doing or or they may have a problem with Zionism per se, but they're not anti-Semitic. So the word and the term sometimes is used, I think, incorrectly. But in true anti-Semitism, historically, I wanted to know, where does this come from? How does it happen? And how easy is it to bring about? Well, it works like this. The first thing that anybody of any note wants to know is, how can I mobilize hate? How can I get people to say, you are going to hate these people? You are growing up in the South and you're going to hate black people. They're not human. They're not usual. This is not necessarily the South. I think it's elsewhere. But let's say in slavery, how did you condition people? And not just in this country, but across the world. How did you do it? How do you get somebody to completely dismiss their sense of humanity, for lack of a better word? How is it that you're able to do this? And it fascinates me. Okay, there's Trump. What has always been a great source of interest to me is how people have been able to hate him so quickly for reasons they can't understand. I can't say this enough to you. They cannot understand it. Now, please, I need 500 likes. I'm looking right now. It says 312. Dear friends, I hate to be a nudge, but we need your likes. They are critical. But let me go on. They hate Trump because it's sport. Behaviorists are sitting back and saying, how did you get the DA, Alvin Bragg, a man that was considered to be pretty respectable, I think Jack Smith, twice, this Fulton County DA, and Merrick Garland, and Ray. How is it that this happened? How did you get them to hate? How did you get Fannie Willis? Where tell us how you did this? Because understand something, and I want you to listen to me, and you may not like what I'm going to say. And you may not answer this publicly, but I'm telling you the truth. If this were Hillary Clinton, if Hillary Clinton got indicted 4 different times in 4 different areas, you would be so ecstatic, you wouldn't be able to see straight. You would have to take a sedative. You would be having parties. When people yell, lock her up, lock her up. Remember that? I never got that. I mean, I thought she's a crook, but I never got into, I didn't hate her. I thought hating Nixon was something, I thought when they hated FDR, no. And by the way, remember something. As a friend of mine last night emails me, he says, Hillary Clinton's going to be on Rachel Maddow. And he's a good friend of mine. We kind of laugh. I said, well, remember one thing. I said, Hillary Clinton's never going to be the president. Trump was the president. She's not. She got into this half-baked Senate thing. They got rid of Nita Lowey, who was going to be the senator. They pushed her out of the way. They bring in Hillary. Hillary couldn't care less about New York. She cares less about New York than Kirsten Gillibrand, if that's possible. So Hillary came in there, and then they made her the Secretary of State, and they greased the skids. And guess what? She set out 2 terms of Bill for Attorney General and then Governor of Arkansas, and then 2 terms as president, and then 2 terms under Barry, and then here comes Trump. And let me tell you something right now. And Mrs. L said this, and we've been saying this for the longest time. But I credit her. And I know that they could have made Hillary Clinton win if they wanted to, right? You agree? If the shadow government said we want Hillary to win, she could have been president easy. Oh, they would have fixed something. You got my good friend Dinesh D'Souza. Did you see his 2,000 mules or whatever it is? Get ahead. Just watch what he did. I need 500 likes, please. I need it. Thank you. He'll show you. They could have done whatever they want. They could have done this easy. But they didn't. Why? What would have caused more chaos? What would have caused more panic? What would have caused more problems? What? 4 years of Hillary or 4 years of Trump? She could have won easy. And I know, legally. They could have done something. They would have done the same thing they did to him. Come on, Biden got 81 million votes. Don't make me laugh. But they didn't want Hillary. Why? One working hypothesis is that we could have never seen anything that we're seeing right now without Trump. We could have never seen anything. We could have never seen anything without Trump in office. Does that make sense to you? Trump was responsible for driving people nuts. Remember Jessica Starr? Remember who she was? She was the one who gave us no. Remember that during the inauguration? I don't know where she went. She's like the Tiananmen tank guy. Just kind of. She started the screaming histrionics movement, this collective hysteria. She was the one. No. Remember that? She was the meme. People who sat in their cars and screamed. Remember that? And behaviorists were saying, make a note of this. Did you notice? I did. It was the greatest thing ever. So one day you're going to tell your grandkids, you don't understand this. They hated Trump. And the people who loved him like you can't believe. Thank you, Liz Solak. Thank you, Liz. She is the reason God made Oklahoma. Look at Liz. Look at this. Is that beautiful or what? It doesn't cost anything to like this. It's free. That's my girl. Thank you, Lizzie. She's so correct. Like this, please. 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 So anyway, this is a behavioral thing. And please do me a favor. Please check out Fannie Willis. Fanny be tender with my. By the way, in Ireland, Fanny is a whole nother word. I think you know that. In any event, you watch this. She is going to be. Who is Fannie Willis? She looks at you. Who am I? I'm the last one. Recency and primacy effect. Remember that about memory. You either remember the first thing you saw or the last thing you saw. And in this case, it's the last thing you saw. It's incredible. And what's happening right now is something which is so terrific. I remember there's some, by the way, there's some great theories as to the cause of what's happening in the real cause of these fires in Lahaina. There's a lot of good stuff out there, but we're not going to be talking about that because we don't have time, because we're busy. Don't you understand? We're busy. We're busy. We're talking about one thing at a time. Do you understand this? Do you understand this, dear friends? Dear friends. That's all I have to say, my friends, to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the only thing I got to say to you. So anyway, so let me do this. Let me ask you a question. This is the most important thing in the world. And I ask you to pay complete and total attention as to what's going on. Number one, do not lose track of the big picture. Number two, demand from Trump that he never, ever, ever loses the ability to keep in mind the optics and how things look. Never lose track of what may seem unfair is completely legal. This could have been done before to Hillary Clinton. This could have been done, but it wasn't. This could have been done to other people, but it wasn't. Just keep this in mind. And don't forget Lahaina, what they're doing to those people. Do not. Now, let me ask you before I forget, please, dear friends, please follow Lynn's Warriors. This is her cue, her handle on X. I still can't say X, and Twitter, at Lynn's Warriors. And also, there's a very great, she does phenomenally important videos. And there was one on this new Predator app called Saturn that nobody's talking about. Why? Because we're only talking about one thing at a time. So that's that. Also, remember our dear friends at MyPillow, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com. Receive a free gift. You go to mypillow.com/Lionel or call 800-645-4965. And I mentioned, my dear, these are the best people. Noble Gold Investments, 877-646-3733. Let me try this again. 877-646-5347. Or go to Noble Gold Investments. Tell them Lionel sent you. I know that's important. It's called couponing. Couponing is critical. When you do that, they say, how many people have mentioned Lionel? A bunch. Good. Because I don't know about you. Most people think, ooh, gold. Wait a minute. I don't know why. I always go like that. These are the best people. And Colin Plume, the greatest guy you will ever meet in your life. And I don't say that about any people. All right, dear friends. And also remember this. Please always subscribe to this channel at Lionel Nation. All right, dear friends, we're going to be back. Make sure you follow what we're doing. And also, don't forget this. Don't forget this important, very, very important. I do a regular private, kind of like my own private channel. And that is something which is very interesting. And I get to say whatever I want, however I want, and I don't necessarily have to concern myself with what rules are or are not being uh, abided by various social media constructs and the like. All right, dear friends, we love you. We thank you for your time and your effort. You are incredible. Thank you so very much. Don't ever change me that sincerely. We'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. doing the same thing. And until then, remember, as we always say, as we always end with this valedictory, this, adios, this sayonara. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.